Greetings, one and all. I'll just adjust the tripod a bit. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of my latest obsession slash hyper focus in this sort of weird hobby space that I seem to inhabit, and that is professional wrestling wargaming. I'm aware of the game Rumble Slam, but in sort of looking at battle reports, I see it more as like a miniature skirmish game with like a wrestling theme to it, rather than a straight up wrestling game. And I kind of get the struggle there, because obviously wrestling predominantly is a one-on-one affair. Obviously there's different kinds of matches, but a one-on-one tabletop war game is a particularly difficult, I think, design challenge, particularly difficult to make interesting. So of course, I wanted to attempt to sort of achieve the impossible. So that's why I started thinking about that as an idea, and it's been knocking around in my head for a while, because I've seen, like, or I go on Amazon or I go in discount shops, you often see these sets of wrestlers with a ring for decently cheap. I think the one I bought online was like £15, and it came with a shed load of wrestlers. It came with the ring, and so I thought, let's just take the plunge. Let's just have some fun, and at the most I'm going to have fun kit bashing and making some weird dudes. And then if the game doesn't really work and I can't really make the whole dueling thing seem interesting or be interesting, I can at least have some fun figures. And I mean, I could just simplify, I can make a game that's really simple, really straightforward, and then kind of have my own fantasy wrestling federation, which I think is quite fun. A few years back, I got sort of obsessed with, I think there was like a digital, I can't remember what it was called now, but like a wrestling, so people basically took a wrestling video game, probably one of the SmackDowns, made a bunch of like pop culture characters and then put them into a league essentially, and had AI fight it out in the ring, and that was sort of their own federation. They didn't have any control of the outcome. They just let it play out, and whatever happened happened. And I do quite like that idea. I'm aware that there are like really detailed sort of sports card-based simulation wrestling games, which I've enjoyed watching the videos about, but I think they'd be too technical for me to really go for. And I love miniatures, so I wanted miniatures. I didn't just want a game of cards. So yeah, I bought that set. I've got the ring, which is here, and I've yet to do anything with. But I'm gonna have fun greebling that up, making it look weird. And I wanted kind of a fantasy grimdark vibe as well, because that's what we all love. We love weird dudes battling, oftentimes with comedic results. And I thought this was perfect for that. So I'm just going to go through some of the wrestlers that I've put together. I spent this morning base coating. Apologies for background noise. I am right near a main road in my hobby room here. Yeah, I just had fun kit bashing, and I thought I'd show you the results. You could probably already see the results. This guy here, I'm naming a triple header, and he was just a standard wrestler, but because I cut off a lot of heads, I just stuck two of them on this guy. He's got a bit of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vibe going on with his colour scheme. This is a Babyface, and to make him, I took one of the weird little baby things I've got lying around. I'm not sure about the arms coming out of the middle of his torso, but he's got a fun vibe. He might be the hero of the of the whole thing. All the shoulder pads, if you can't tell, are just cut up super glue lids. Because obviously I get through quite a bit of super glue, as you can imagine. So that's Babyface. I did a couple of Dino Men because you have to. You got toy dinosaurs knocking around. You just stick the tail on the back, stick a head on. So that's my first Dino Man. I've then got another Dino Man here. I think I'm calling this one Raptor. I'm not sure what the other guy is. I think he's a Corythosaurus with that sort of sail on his head. But I don't know. Don't know for sure, but there's my two Dino Men, a perfect tag team. I did a couple of blockheads because, again, it's just a sort of a staple of this Weird and Wonderful wargaming space. So that's the blue blockhead. Oh, knocking everybody else over. Here's my red blockhead. Looking quite beefy. I have, on a couple of them, glued some spare Frostgrave pieces to the back just to give them a bit more detail, but I kind of wanted to use as little as that sort of stuff as possible, because I want it to be, I want people not to think they have to own a massive bits box like I do to do something like this. I mean, this is just a wooden 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre wooden cube you'll get from most craft shops, glued on, super glue, lid for shoulder pads, and that's all you really need. This guy, I needed a few regular humans, so this guy, just a regular human, just a repaint of the figure. The plastic they're made out of is kind of like an odd sort of rubbery plastic. It takes super glue decently well, but I wasn't sure about paint. So obviously they get covered in goop, which is why you can see they're a bit textury, grainy. I find it's the best thing for working with a sort of plastic. People say put Mod Podge over it, make sure it's washed, but oftentimes even then the plastic starts to leach chemicals out, and you get that where everything goes really sticky. I've found this solution to be the best option, and it is just wall filler, like No More Nails adhesive mixed together, a bit of PVA glue in there as well, and then I just paint that all over as thinly as possible so you don't lose detail, but it gives decent coverage. You can see, we haven't shown that guy yet. Here's a 1/72 Balrog, I think, from Dark Alliance, who I just saw in one of my drawers and thought he'd be a great sort of, if you can get into focus, he'd be a great like final boss wrestler. So he's not officially part of it yet, but he's probably gonna end up in it. This guy, who I'm thinking is going to be the champion, but knowing the dice, he probably won't be. He's just got an additional hat that I clipped off a cheap cowboy, like army man cowboy, not anything more expensive than that. So I chopped the top of his head off, glued the hat on, and he got a spare head. I'll have blood running down his arm, you know. Cool dude. Again, just a standard human. I wanted like a barbarian. So there's this guy, again with super glue lid, shoulder pads. This guy is Underbite. Gave him like an orky sort of metal jaw. And if you don't have, like, you see some of them have like shivs on their belts and that. Again, they're from like, I think they're Oathmark Heavy Orc Infantry, the shivs came from. But obviously, if you don't have access to that, I just cut up cocktail sticks. They make good metal spikes that you can use. But yeah, again, cut up super glue lid and shoulder pads. This guy, I'm not sure what his name is yet. Maybe just Skull Man or Death, something like that. He got one of the skulls I bought. A big bag of skulls to use for crafting purposes. And he's got a mace from some Oathmark Orcs. But again, as you'll see with Devilman here, if you don't have access to maces, again, the rest of the cocktail stick makes a decent like lead pipe. He got some horns. I think they came from a Chaos Warrior helmet. But again, there's a bunch of sort of like animals you could cut them off of if you've got a bag of like cheap plastic animals from your discount shop. Super glue lid, shoulder pad to give him a bit of armor, and his wings came from a cheap dragon toy that I had. I just chopped them off, super glued them to his back, and that's my, is it a stable? A stable of wrestlers? As I said, yeah, I'm quite excited to sort of get them into the ring, have them all fighting. I have a particular fondness for the Royal Rumble, and I think that would be great to sort of figure out rules-wise how we're going to make that work. As I say, I enjoy writing Wargames rules as much as I enjoy kick bashing things. I'm excited for the design challenge. I've tried dueling Wargames before, and they are difficult and difficult to make interesting. Hopefully something cool comes out of this. But if not, it's just a bit of kit bashing inspiration for you today. I've just got to get a wash on these guys, and then I'll do some highlights and do the ring and maybe a bit of a surrounding area. I'm thinking of sticking the ring on a 1 foot by 1 foot bit of board, so we can have sort of the outside. And then, yeah, I'll figure out the rules, and hopefully you'll see some matches coming up. It'd be pretty cool if I got really into it and there was like a full spate of wrestling matches, a full league. I don't know what they're called with wrestling. But yeah, that's just a little bit of kit bashing inspiration, just a little fun project. And oh yeah, the one thing I was going to say is actually, I think having these kinds of smaller footprint war games is really great. There's Great Helm, the night skirmishing game, which you play with a few figures in a small area. I think it's really cool to have games like that, because sometimes you just can't be bothered to get out the 6x4, get out all the terrain, plaster the board with minis. Sometimes you just want something little and contained that can, you know, take place on a coffee table. It can take place on a spare part of your hobby desk, and you can just have a fun little game for a little bit. So yeah, that's my weird wrestling project. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully my hyper focus will stick on this for a while, and we can have some fun games. But I'll see you in the next video.